Hello, I am Tato Cow and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing The Letter. Previously, after getting McCullough out of the tunnel and whatnot, finding the secret passageway, and we run into the creepy spooky mirror, which kept looking into our hearts and telling us all our worst fears into our faces. And Ashton was hurting himself with a mirror shard when McCullough snapped him out. We finally, the two of us, gotta get out of there, and now we're in the kitchen, and we hear the thing. And Ashton's like, okay, I'm going to go to that. And McCullough is like, no. And she can barely walk because she has been starving to death in the dungeon with no food or water. And we're telling her to go. And she kind of has no choice but to accept that. We're like, Ashton's like, go and tell my friends of what you've seen here. Go and tell them of the journey. And that's pretty much where we left off. Alright, let's continue. I trail off, letting the meaning of my words hang in the air. I want to be optimistic about this, really. However, I'm going against something almost everyone can't quite understand. I'm just being realistic with my chances. McCullough seems to understand this as well, after what I've said. Any sign of protest has already died from her tongue, and she simply looks at the taser quietly. After a moment, she just nods. Journal update. Alright, I shouldn't push J anymore because it doesn't actually consider it reading the journal for some reason. Upon reaching the kitchen, the crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. Unwilling to risk a civilian, the detective found where was I? The detective handed, I went back up a line, Marion his taser and advised her to leave him. For if he didn't return after 15 minutes, that is not what he said, even if he himself was uncertain, he would. I don't remember him saying anything about not coming back in 15 minutes, whatever. Beyond the walls of this room, the cries continue to grow louder, and I take it as a sign to leave without another word. I slip out the door. Like a siren call, her voice beckons. Finding out who that is seems a good place to start as any. I keep to the shadows for the most part. Not that there is any need to. The entire place just feels empty. Odd, when a house this big should have a large staff. You'd think there'll be one or two roaming about for some late night chores or someone seeking out whoever's creating the ruckus. There's none, however.
Shouldn't they have security posted inside as well?
Unless their security means the butler thought, though I doubt some was that sloppy. He loves his life more than anything. I mean, the butler is actually pretty good security, but whatever. Probably more than his own wife. And the things he's done, he's bound to make more than an enemy or two. He's also the kind who'll do anything to keep himself safe. Alive.
I wonder what he'll say when he finds out that there's something not human living with him in his own house.
I'm pretty sure at this point he's aware. Potential dangers aside, being on my own grants me greater degree of mobility, which I'm more comfortable with. Sure, I could have enlisted McCullough's help. Why didn't meet story update? It didn't like it give me a chance to enlist her help. Next to the people who owns this, she's probably the one who's most familiar with the mansion. But the cons of bringing her outweigh the pros. She's better off somewhere quick exits in sight. I suppose there's a possibility she could have died, and thus that conversation would not have happened. With no tag along, I only have to worry about myself, watch my back. Selfish, I know.
But necessary.
Indeed. In the same manner, this whole plan, no matter how idiotic, going into this. Besides, I don't really need a guide. When the house's layout is fairly simple, almost mirrored, with only a few modifications in the rooms. Although I've only been here once, I think I already have a good grasp of this place's ins and outs. As long as you can tell which is east and west, it shouldn't be hard to find my way around. After the dining room, the main foyer should be the next thing that greets me. Where the woman's cries are leading me. Honestly, after what happened outside, I'm not even sure if I should be trusting what I'm hearing. But with the whole house somehow seemingly devoid of any of its inhabitants, I'm inclined to look into this. More than surviving this curse, a huge part of this is my training speaking.
I just hope this isn't a crime scene I'm walking into.
Now I feel like it's going to be a crime scene that he's walking into. But nonetheless, nothing's ever that simple, isn't it? Not when you're dealing with the supernatural. Nope. Because as soon as my feet crosses the next room, something shifts. Ugh, what a mess again. In a flash, nearly without fanfare. It happens in the blink of an eye. I almost miss it. One moment, there's red. And the next, I'm standing alone in the foyer. For a brief instant I pause, glancing wildly around the place, blinking twice, as if my movements will spur the vision back. Yet, nothing. No blood dripping on the walls, none trailing down the stairs or pooled on the floor. No eyes watching my every moment. Only the same cries gradually growing in intensity the longer I dally. along with a voice.
Mother,
Desperate.
where are you, Mother?
Pleading.
Mother, please. I don't want to be alone.
Coming from the same direction I've heard the cries from. Upstairs. The place not entirely empty then. A better question now is who? Definitely not Scumbag or the butler. I've yet to see hides nor hair of them, and knowing their whereabouts puts me on the edge. I have to be careful not to make any noise or be seen. Maybe the wife? Though one can't really tell if it's her, the way the walls echo her voice. Nevertheless, it pushes me to move, taking almost 2 steps at a time, despite the sickening feeling that something's lurking behind every great shadow, every small corner I pass. As if the house has several eyes watching my every movement. As if something alive dwells behind the walls itself. Nope. That's not good. Oh, journal entry. Upon reaching the kitchen, the crying Ashton heard from outside began anew. Oh, did I already read that? On alert, he continued, okay, deeper into the mansion. If he was uncertain if he would go out of the place alive. Even if he was uncertain. Okay. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Did I accidentally skip ahead? I tried to shake it off. Okay, no I didn't. But the uneasy sensation has already made home at the pit of my stomach. Dread. And it only grows deeper the closer I get to her. The relative emptiness of the place doesn't help either. Neither does the harsh wind battering the windows, nor the sheets of rain pelting down the roof. For a fleeting second, I find myself wishing for Scumbag to simply show up. I don't get too far down into that train of thought. Abruptly, the cries stop. Shouldn't the windows be closed if it's raining this bad? Won't the water get in if the windows are just open like that? Replacing it with...
Mother, please. She's here. She's here, Mother. She's going to take me. She won't leave, Mother. Mother, I don't want to go with her. Tell her to go away. Mother! Mother, she's here! Help!
That can't be good. Adrenaline overcomes me in a rush. In no 2 heartbeats, my feet's already moving. Before any sense can catch up, or doubt creeps up to me. my hands ready at the holster as I hastily set off for the far side of the hall. One alarmed footstep after another, while struggling to keep that sense of panic at bay. A door lies ajar at the end and coming from the floor above.
She's going to hurt me! Help me!
I do not hesitate. Moving in, despite the lack of light, the steep stairs, or the thick layer of dust kicking up with my every step. I pause only a moment upon reaching the top. When, without wasting a second, I push the door open. Oh my. She sits in the middle of the room, shoulders hunched, shaking. Her hands cover her face as she weeps, oblivious to my presence. It's as if she's heard neither my footsteps nor the soft creaking of the door, continuing undisturbed, like I'm standing in time, far removed from her. She doesn't even flinch when I call out to her.
Hey, are you alright?
Mother, I've done it, Mother. Take me with you, please.
Oh, what did she do? Her hands are covered in blood.
I can still hear her. She's here. Help me! Help me, please!
Belatedly, I notice the blood on her hands. Well, to be fair, her back is turned to you. Not easy to see from that angle. If it's the same one drenching the whole attic, I'd rather not know. How the whole room has ended up like this. Is the blood drenching the attic? I didn't look at it. What was I? Ended up like this is the least of my problems at the moment. Even a single human body doesn't have this much blood. So, bodies? The thought sends an unpleasant twinge in my stomach. Does Wright even know about this? He's bad news, alright, but this? This is beneath him. He'll definitely talk at first sight of it. Anyone will. Oh, he'll definitely balk at the first sight of it. Anyone will. Yet, the woman lingers here, unmoved by the sight of letting her sobs fill the room, repeating the words over and over again like a prayer of salvation. To whom? The mess of parchment she has left on the floor? Just what the hell is happening? Yeah, I'd like to know too. Is this Charlotte by any chance?
Hey, lady, are you?
The rest of that question never makes it out. I don't even see it coming. Should have been more aware and on guard, really. Oh my. Sounds like someone just got hit with something. There's little I can do. When a well-placed blow to the back of my knees makes me stumble. Yeah. Probably should have paid more attention. Okay. The sobs led Ashton to the mansion's attic. In the middle of the room, he found a woman crouched on the floor crying. Cautiously, he approached her, but as he was about to reach out for her, someone grabbed him from behind. Someone kicked him from behind? Not grabbed, but semantics. The momentum alone sends me reeling forward. It barely even registers in my head that the woman's gone and the room as normal as it can be. The room's as normal as it can be. Not about the pain suddenly shooting up my side when it hit the floor. I don't even get the chance to get my bearings back, and a hard enough blow to the stomach causes me to buckle down, land heavily on my knees. Gasping, fumbling wildly for my gun, although before I'm able to turn, level it, and shoot, a hand grabs my wrist and twists it hard. A gasp, a grunt, a cry of pain slips past my mouth. The gun falls to the floor with a thunk. You're failing at being a police officer right now. What happened to this judo training he had? As soon as it lands, a foot kicks it out of my reach, and it slides uselessly under the bed. Agony suddenly explodes in my chin, jerking loose a sharp cry of pain, and stars fill the edge of my vision. A brief moment of regret hits me for leaving my taser with McCullough. I didn't get a choice in that. When a piece of cloth closes around my neck. Without warning, my attacker pulls tight. I'm left gasping, choking, and pawing for air, blindly reaching for behind me as I still try to fight him off and loosen the pressure on my neck. Except any sort of movement only causes him to pull it taut.
My, so many rats scurrying about in this mansion lately.
See, you should have thought about the butler. Writes butler. Shit.
Tell me, what did you do with the madam?
Oh, is she missing? I have no idea what he's talking about. Did something happen to Hannah Wright?
Let go, you asshole.
Now, Dummkopf, you're in no position to be rude. Last time I checked, I'm not the one breaking into other people's homes. Now answer my question. What did you do with the madam?
The pain rings and resonates through my already sore body. Still I managed to write it out and spit a monotonous...
Fuck you.
Of course those have to be your words.
Keep that dirty mouth babbling and you're getting a knife in the kidney.
Yeah, that's not legal though.
I assure you it will be more painful than this.
He really doesn't need to threaten me by now. It's all too much to bear at this point. My lungs feel as if they're burning with the lack of air. Dark spots begin to fill the edges of my vision. Ever so slowly, the world around me dims. My consciousness rapidly slips away from me, and without meaning to.
Get away from him!
Oh? Hearing that voice is that I've been doused with a bucket of ice, cold water, familiar, too familiar, and more importantly, it shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be hearing it here. She shouldn't be here. Immediately, my eyes snap open. Oh? Look who's got the taser now. And right there, on the attic's doorway, stands Isabella, of all people. A rolling pin in one hand, and a standard issue police taser on the other. My taser. She must have borrowed it from McCullough. Where else could she have gotten it? One. I doubt she has ever used one, even. Hell, the way she's holding it right now, this guy can easily disarm her in one hit. And she still has a rolling pin in the other hand. But there's something in her eyes. Although there's a look of fear in them, and her hand shakes, she keeps the weapon trained and pointed at the scumbag's lackey. Untrained or not, she does not plan to leave here without putting up a fight, it seems. Admirable, really, but just not something we need right now. I need her to be away from here. I need her safe. But the chances of that happening grow slim with every laughter that slips from him.
Oh, this is just getting better and better. The bratwurst won't be pleased with the number of bodies we have to dispose of today, you know. Tell me, how many of you are there, so I can prepare the proper number of bags?
Oh, that sounds creepy. Damn it. What the fuck is going on? Why is she here in the first place? Did she follow me? Who else came with her? Rebecca? Panic surges within me. She knows how bad the situation is, but did she really have to run in here and expose herself like that? Does she even know how to use a taser? For fuck's sake, more than worrying for my life, it's her I'm concerned about. Getting strangled, dying by choking, isn't part of the plan, but her following me here isn't either. This is why I prefer to do things alone. This is why I'd rather be the only one to take the consequences. I don't want to think of what this bastard might do to her after he's done with me. Though my voice comes off nearly a croak, I try to tell her as much. She has to leave. Stay far away from here and those people and these people.
Don't! Damn it, Isabella! Get out of here!
Another bout of pain erupts at my side, cutting off my words. A cry of agony bursts from my mouth. Well, we'll end this episode here. We will see if we can get free of Hansi in the next episode. And take that. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.